Hello Hyrox athletes, my name is Tiago Loza, I'm an Hyrox master coach and elite athlete. Today we are going to talk about the Burpee Broad Jump. It can look like a very simple and easy workout, but I guarantee you it isn't. Hyrox is becoming more competitive day by day, season by season, and we need to be the most efficient possible on every workout, and Burpee Broad Jump isn't an exception. So we are going to approach three different areas. Firstly, the standard of the movement. Secondly, general indications and ways to approach the workout. And thirdly, but probably the most important, three different techniques that you can apply to your Burpee Broad Jumps. So, first things first. On the Hyrox rulebook you have some points of performance that are really clear and simple, not easy to judge though. So, to make your life easier and to the judges, and so that you don't receive penalties, by the way, a penalty is assessed every time that you get called by a judge the second time, and you need to do extra 5 meters of Burpee Broad Jumps, and that isn't nice. So, chest must always touch the ground. On the starting, you need to have both hands behind the line that you have marking the beginning of the workout. And then you can bring your feet up the way that you wish, but your feet cannot pass your fingertips. And then you need also to jump and land with both feet simultaneously. This is very hard, especially for people that use the step-up technique. So these are the most important rules that you cannot forget. Hands must be placed near feet, the maximum 1 foot length away. You need to jump and land with feet at both times. When feet are coming up from the step up, they cannot go further away than the tips of your fingertips, and chest must always touch the ground. Secondly, we are going to talk about general approach. Burpee Broad Jump is the fourth workout of an Hyrox race. When you finish the Burpee Broad Jumps, you are halfway through the race, theoretically. Depends also on the type of the athlete. But for the elite, this means 26, 27, up to 28 minutes of race have gone. For a regular, well-conditioned athlete, 34, 35 minutes into the race. This is a very, very important turning point on the race, because if you go too hard on the Burpee Broad Jumps, you're going to pay it surely on the next run, the run number 5, and on the row. You will feel the need to recover. So sometimes for some athletes, the best way to approach the burpees is to take them easy. You lose 20-30 seconds, but you probably will recover them later on the next run and on the next workout, that is the rowing. When you approach the burpees, you need to adapt the technique that we are going to show you to the type of athlete that you are and to the fatigue that you have accumulated during the run up to that point. Other thing that we recommend you is to be consistent during the Burpee Broad Jumps. Don't do fast Burpee Broad Jumps and then rest. Try to have a consistent pace, like you have on a run, for example. If you want to average 4 per kilometer, you'll probably run 4 per kilometer all the way. So the same on the burpees. Don't do short bursts and then try to recover, because your heart rate will peak very, very, very quickly, and then it will be very hard to get it back down. So now we are going to see the techniques that you can use, and we are going to start for the fastest technique, but also it's the technique that least number of athletes can use, because it's really, really fatiguing and taxing. It's the frog jump, where you come up from the burpee with a 2-foot jump and you go straight to the broad jump. This is really fatiguing. This spikes your heart rate. It can accumulate lactic acid. So to do this, you need to be very, very well conditioned, and even for the top athletes in the world, this is going to be paid on the run afterwards. This can be used as a tactic or strategic technique to go away from some athletes that are pursuing you, or to catch up with some athletes, but you need to be very, very careful when applying this technique. The most common technique, it's the step up, where you step up with 1 foot at a time from the burpee, and then you jump. This has some problems. It's a very consistent technique. You don't lose that much time. For an elite athlete, this is like 2 minutes and 20, 2 minutes and 25 seconds if you are consistent. But you need to be careful with two things of the standards. First, when you're stepping up, your front foot cannot pass the tips of your fingertips, so you need to be careful with that. And secondly, it's very easy to finish in a staggered stance, and then when you jump from a staggered stance, it's really hard to jump and land with both feet simultaneously. So you need to be really careful with this technique. The third technique, it's the knee to stand. You even will see high-level top elite athletes using this technique. It's a little bit slower, like 2 minutes 40 for the elite level athletes that are very consistent and can do it fast. But when you are coming down from the ground, it takes a little longer because you are firstly placing one knee on the ground and then the front foot on the ground. This is slow, but also your heart rate can be kept really low, not that low, but lower than with the other techniques, and you will feel more energy to jump. So you lose time when coming up, but then you can gain and recover distance and time when jumping. You need to be careful in all of those techniques with the length of the jump, because if you do longer jumps, you will do less burpees, but it's really taxing because you are using a different energy system to produce power. So be careful with that, especially if you are a more endurance-biased athlete. And also, one thing that we advise you to do is to train in 20 meters sets, because usually in an event you have 4 times 80 meters, not always, but you should know exactly the number of burpee broad jumps that it takes you to do the 20 meters, so that you don't finish like 6 burpee broad jumps and then you'll be missing 20, 30, 40 centimeters and you'll be obliged to do another extra burpee that is totally unnecessary. So these are the main tips that we are going to give you. Practice them, train them. You still have time for your next competition. So be smart, train smart, use EMOM style workouts, control your heart rate, control the time and the heart rate on the run immediately after performing the burpees, because this is not just an isolated workout, this is in the middle of an Hyrox race, and to be a complete Hyrox athlete you need to be very, very aware of your pacing and your racing strategy. So follow us, we will be sharing more tips about the workouts, running and race strategy and pacing.